My name is Jenny Boudreaux, and I am Brandon Boudreaux's wife. First and foremost, I want to thank all those that have spent countless hours in bringing justice to not only Brandon, but to Charles, JJ, Tylee, and Tammy. Today, I stand here today as a voice for the pain and lasting trauma caused by the attempted murder of my husband, Brandon Boudreaux, on October 2nd, 2019, a day that none of us will forget. That morning, Brandon was driving near his newly rented home in Gilbert, Arizona, when a bullet, fired by Alex Cox, under the direction and planning of Lori Vallow Daybell and other co-conspirators, missed his head by merely inches. Just inches. One moment, one shot. A moment that should have taken his life, but didn't. And yet, that near-death experience has forever changed his life and mine. When I met Brandon, I saw a man with one of the biggest hearts I have ever known. But it was a heart that had been bruised deeply and wounded by betrayal from those he trusted most. To be hunted by people who were supposed to love and protect him, his own family, left scars that go far beyond physical danger. It robbed him of a sense of safety. It shattered his ability to fully trust. It forced him to live in fear. For months, Brandon was living in hiding, moving from place to place, always looking over his shoulder. The people who wanted him dead still were out there, and he knew they were not finished. After the horrifying news of the murders of Charles and Tammy, and especially Tylee and JJ, children he loved and he knew, Brandon had countless sleepless nights. The fear became constant. I will never forget the night when Alex and another showed up at his family home searching for his children and Brandon. The fear I heard in Brandon's voice was like nothing I had ever heard. He believed that he and his children could be killed. This was his new reality. These crimes weren't just about money or power or twisted religious beliefs. They were also about destroying families, destroying lives. Lori and her co-conspirators tried to take away a father from his children. This is a man who reads scriptures with them, tucks them to bed at night, plays games with them, supports their dreams, encourages them, and loves them with all of his heart unconditionally. He would do anything for his children. Had that bullet not missed, these beautiful children, now my beloved bonus children, would have grown up without a father's guidance, his protection, and his love. No child should ever be denied that. Brandon was deeply traumatized, and yet he continued to show up for his children, for truth and for justice, even on the first day of our honeymoon, which was meant to be joyful and sacred. I watched my new husband weep in a car after having to identify the remains of a boy he once loved and tried to protect. That boy was JJ, the cousin of Brandon's former wife, the son of the very woman who tried to orchestrate Brandon's murder. That weight, that moment is still and always will be heavy in our lives. He has survivor's guilt. He sometimes wondered why he survived and the others did not. He would say, I would switch places with Charles, with JJ, with Tylee, and even Tammy so that they could live. This is the kind of person Brandon is. He would do anything for the people he loves. Brandon carries emotional scars of attempted murder. betrayal, and loss every day, and yet he remains kind. He remains faithful, and he remains a father that his children are proud of. Today, I am proud to stand beside him as his wife, his best friend, and a witness of his resilience and his courage. The truth has finally come to light, and although it has taken many years to get here, I pray that justice will be served properly. Evil tried to silence Brandon, but it failed. He is still here. He is still standing, and because of that, so are we. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Last will be Brandon Boudreaux.
After Brandon speaks, we'll need to give the court reporter a short break, so I'm just letting everyone know.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to read my sister wrote a letter. She couldn't be here. I'm going to read her letter, and I'll...
That's for Donnell?
Yeah, for Danielle.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Danielle Hackey. I'm the oldest sister to Brandon Boudreaux. 6 years ago, our world was rocked in ways none of us could have predicted. I am not unfamiliar with the criminal justice system. I worked within it for over 10 years, but it had never touched my life personally until it did 6 years ago. I watched as my brother Brandon had his entire life ripped apart with absolutely no warning. I watched him try to pick up the pieces of a life and family he had built and to try to bandage the broken hearts of his children with oh so many questions, while also navigating his own personal sorrow and heartbreak. I held him and cried with him and offered what little advice I could with all the love my big sister heart could give him. Then just a few months later, while I was 7 months pregnant with my third child and returning home from a doctor visit, I had my husband sit me down on the couch and ever so gently let me know that my brother had just been shot at. You see, my dad hadn't called me. He called my husband to tell him so that he could carefully and gently tell me what had happened. My world, as I knew it, was shattered. All of a sudden, I was living in a paranoid, anxiety-filled, fear-driven nightmare. As details emerged and my brother gained more information and knowledge, he reached out to see if he could bring his children to hide at our home for a while. There was no hesitation. We took them all in. But those few weeks were filled with terror. We stayed indoors with the blinds shut and the door securely locked. We did our best to entertain 6 children, ours and his, and keep them happy and as unaware of the situation as possible, while also monitoring our streets for any signs of those responsible for this. I no longer felt safe in my home. Leaving meant constantly checking behind and around me, making sure no one was following or watching us. We were on alert 24/7. Our entire family helped shuffle my incredible brother and his kids around, doing our best to ensure that they felt safe and were being loved and taken care of. This went on for months. Once those responsible were caught, we felt some relief. However, more details continued to merge, and my brother's life continued to get thrown for loops. Our family has come out of this closer, stronger, and more unified. We have held our tongues, never having spoken our truths, so as to allow the judicial system to do what it is designed to do, bring some justice to all of the victims. The big sister and me wanted nothing more than to take care of my little brother and his sweet children. I wanted nothing more than to fix everything and make it right. I obviously couldn't do that. I watched as my brother experienced the most horrible things and do so with grace, love, and humbleness that I don't know I would have had. I am grateful for the example he has been to me. I pray that our family can continue to heal and move on and hold strong to each other as we try to close this chapter. So many lives were impacted by such selfish choices. I'm forever grateful that my brother was spared that day and I know that for me, I will never be able to go back to being blissfully unaware of the horrific choices people can make for the most unimportant and selfish reasons. Thank you for your time, Danielle Hackey. Your Honor, thank you for giving me my time today and for listening to all these people who are my family now and who have gone through this with me. On October 2nd, Lori Daybell, someone I considered family, conspired with others to shoot at me, an act that not only endangered my life, but it threatened to destroy the sacred family unit that I cherish for my children. Had this heinous crime succeeded, my children would have been left to face a lifetime of grief, robbed of the love, stability, and spiritual guidance I provide as their father. The betrayal by someone connected to my family has left me battling overwhelming emotions over the years. I felt fear, paranoia. I lived with constant vigilance, loneliness, regret, sadness, depression, anger, heartache, and embarrassment. All while striving to remain a beacon for my children I didn't want them to see. The word family in Latin was used as a word for servant, familia. How beautiful to think of those who are family as those who we serve or who serve us freely without the thought of reward. I try to live this truth every day, serving my children with selfless dedication, nurturing their dreams, teaching them resilience, and providing a foundation of love. Lori Daybell's actions sought to tear me from the sacred role, leaving my children without the father who serves them with unwavering devotion. Trust is something that is intangible. It can almost, It can almost be measured in interactions with others by the speed and comfort with which we speak. We can see this inside our families. When it's present, it creates beautiful, safe spaces where human beings can grow and feel loved. As a father, I strive to cultivate this trust, fostering a haven where my children feel secure to grow and express themselves. Had I been killed, this trust would have been shattered, leaving my children vulnerable to fear, uncertainty, and struggling to rebuild the safety that they deserve. I believe the family unit is ordained of God, and as such, it can be the most safe and sacred space we have in this life. I was raised in such a unit by parents who created this for me. And my life's greatest desire is that one day my children will look back and say that I created that for them. This divine calling gives me a drive to provide a nurturing and sacred environment for my children, mirroring the love I received. The choices that were made on October 2nd by Lori and others attempted to end my life. They threatened to rob my children of this God-ordained sanctuary, denying them the legacy and safety of love I strive to build. Research underscores devastating impact of losing a father in early childhood. 20 to 30% of bereaved children develop clinical depression or anxiety, grappling with abandonment. It can hinder their ability to form healthy relationships. My children would have faced these scars and many more. Their sense of security would have been destroyed. The violent act orchestrated by Lori would have taken this. Additionally, children who lose a parent experience academic setbacks, social withdrawal. Studies show that Such children face socioeconomic challenges as adults, threatening the stable future I work tirelessly to provide. Besides my children, I have extended family for whom this conspiracy's toll I will never truly know. There's no measurement system for our grief, for our stress, for their pain and their trauma. They carry a burden that was no responsibility of their own. They're good people, all of them. But they showed up. They understood what family meant. They postponed work. They postponed life. They postponed fun. They even put out their own children and their own spouses. I had to ask them and their families to keep me safe and put them in jeopardy. I was scared to stay with them for months after they shot at me and kept trying to find me. I was continually pursued when I asked my new wife to marry me. I had to do so, knowing the burden I brought to our marriage. A life filled with unwanted attention, trauma, from a conspiracy I knew nothing about until it was almost too late. This burden will never go away, but we will learn to deal with it. We can never go back. We can't fix these things. There's no way to make right all the injustice and suffering that we've endured. So my greatest hope is that we can protect others from facing it. I hope those who participated can be removed from a place where they can have a chance to hurt anyone ever again in the future. No one deserves to live a life of fear and trauma. I have friends who stood up and put their lives on hold to help me and my children. I don't know how to convey to you the fear they must have felt to just be involved with me or around me. As others conspired and continued to come looking for me. I can't imagine the impact it had on them after the fact or during, and some of them had to distance themselves to keep their family safe. Finally, this overwhelming toll and conspiracy has had so much effect on those who are called upon to uphold our laws, and to those that I employed to try to protect my family. I would include attorneys, law enforcement, juries, yourself, your staff, all the people who have to deal with this. We've spent countless hours and precious resources from our community's taxes, mine and my family's personal finances, striving to prove exactly what happened, and most importantly, to keep children safe. All of this could have gone to more productive and beneficial things to help others, but it had to be diverted because of selfishness and self-centered conspirations. Your Honor, I'm a believer in forgiveness, and I believe it can be relieving for people to let go of the feelings that I've been describing, to give them away to their Savior, so that there's more room for good feelings and things that can come in this life. I try to practice this. I'm not perfect at it, but I have found relief in it. But I do not believe that this means that we can trust those who commit crimes to continue to have freedom that they had before. I choose to forgive Lori for myself so that I can be able to be a better father to those children I described. Be a better husband for my new wife. A better son and brother to these wonderful people who came. and a better neighbor and friend to those people who were there for me when I needed it most. But I have never seen any remorse or acknowledgement from Lori or any of her conspirators. Only denial, shaming, and accusation. I would never feel safe if she has freedom. I will always fear her for what she would try to do, again, to hurt my family. The trauma of this attack has already shaken my children's sense of safety. It's forced me to fight through pain, and it's forced me to work to restore trust for them in this life that we live. Lori's conspiracy was an assault on the essence of familia or selfless love. It's an assault on trust, and it's an assault on the divine sanctity of what a family is and what I grew up in. I would urge you to recognize this harm, this act that was intended to inflict pain upon myself, my family, my children, who deserve to grow up in a sacred, safe space. And I would ask you to protect us. As I let go of those angry feelings and all of those things, I would ask you to protect us, keep us safe, keep these people who deserve it safe. And I just ask that and thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take a short recess of about 10 minutes. You may